First Thessalonians 2. It is crazy how big the New Testament is. We're almost done with this. At least it's not the Old Testament. Welcome back to Deuteronomy. Well, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back for chapter 2 of First Thessalonians. Did you know what I realized today? It was 1 year ago on this day that we started the Bible vlog. Pretty crazy. So I know the original idea was to go through the whole New Testament in a year, and we are going to make it close, but I think we'll be finished up sometime next month. Close but no cigar. All right, let's keep this thing moving. This is chapter 2. Opening up in this chapter, Paul spends the first few verses reminding and then in some ways thanking the churches at Thessalonica for the ways in which they approved Paul. See, one of the things that Paul constantly dealt with was being accused of false teaching. Now, he was accused of this enough that his murder was attempted multiple times by multiple people. The guy was stoned, tortured, whipped, you name it. So to be honest, it was easy for a lot of people observing this to think that, well, maybe Paul really is doing or saying something wrong. I mean, let's be honest, if most of us see a person getting in trouble with the law or the community over and over again, we tend to stay away from people like that. We kind of naturally view them as a bit of a troublemaker, and this was a very real issue that Paul had to deal with and overcome. So look at how Paul addresses this very conduct in verses 9 through 12. For you remember, brethren, our labor and toil, for laboring night and day, that we might not be a burden to any of you. We preach to you the gospel of God. You are witnesses, and God also, how devoutly and justly and blamelessly we behaved ourselves among you who believe. As you know how we exhorted and comforted and charged every one of you as a father does his own children, that you walk worthy of God who calls you into his own kingdom and glory. Now, I love how Paul tells them here to walk worthy of God. This is such an important concept to grasp, especially for these people being new converts. See, so many people in today's society, they want to claim the mantle of Christianity, then they have no real interest in really living it out in their life. It's no different than pretending that walking into your garage makes you an automobile. The way that we are to walk in our faith is one that reflects Christ and then shows that we value our relationship with God. Guys, never take the gift of salvation for granted. Always remember to walk worthy of the calling that God has given you. Okay, now skip ahead a little bit, and Paul touches on something here really interesting in verses 17 through 18. But we, brethren, having been taken away from you for a short time in presence, not in heart, endeavored more eagerly to see your face with great desire. Therefore, we wanted to come to you, even I, Paul, time and again, but Satan hindered us. Now, this is a little unique what Paul talks about here, but it does show us something. There are times where Satan hinders Christian work, and it's serious. This reminds me a bit of the story of Daniel in the Old Testament when a messenger angel was dispatched to bring an answer to his prayer, but when he finally arrives, he tells Daniel that he had a demonic force fight him for 21 days before he could get through. Now, we do have power over the devil in Jesus' name, and Jesus did conquer him when he rose from the dead, but sometimes he still has to be dealt with, and his attacks against Christians can be serious. Now, Paul doesn't go into detail on exactly what the hindrance was, but it led him to having to send Timothy in his place. Guys, the thing to keep in mind is this: we aren't fighting the devil to gain victory, but to enforce what already belongs to us. Everything you will ever need was already provided by Jesus dying on the cross, but the devil will still fight against you to limit you in any way that he can. If he did it to Paul, he'll certainly do it to you, but always remember that faith is a fight. Sometimes you have to continue in prayer and faith until you see the victory. All right, everyone, that's a wrap for us today with chapter 2. Thank you so much for being here. As always, sure means the world to me. Come back tomorrow for chapter 3, another good one and another short one. Till then, hope you all have a beautiful day wherever you may be watching this from. God bless you all. See you back here tomorrow.